Hey guys, we are reading through The Art of Neighboring by Pathak and Dave Runyon. And today we're on Chapter 3, The Time Barrier. This is going to be a helpful one. The big point here is this. Do you live at a pace that allows you to be available to the people who live and work around you? Are you too busy? Are you too busy for your wife, for your kids, for your community group friends? Are you too busy getting stuff done that you don't have time for the things that are, we would all admit, far more important? How do you need to reprioritize so that your life is more about people, less about getting stuff done? There's a quote on pages 44 and 45 in the book. The authors say this: "Our calendars continuously stay full no matter how many time-saving devices are invented," right? Smartphones, apps for your smartphone. We would assume that these things saving us time would allow us to then be able to enjoy free time and flex time, more that kind of thing, more resting than just getting stuff done. And it's actually the opposite. We seem to be even more busy, more stressed oftentimes. Many of us are living, quite frankly, at a dangerous pace. There are three lies that the authors say that we believe, and I think we can resonate with some of these. Number one, we believe that things will settle down someday, right? Well, this week is crazy busy because I got an exam and stuff's going on at work and we got this project to do and the kids have this going on this week, but Friday's coming, right? The weekend's going to come and it'll be okay. And what happens? Well, the weekend comes and we throw a whole bunch of other things in there. We start saying yes to this and this and this and this, and it doesn't end. Things don't settle down. Secondly, we believe that more will be enough, right? This is what drives a lot of us to be so busy. Getting more done, maybe even ministry, doing more stuff, purchasing more things, achieving more goals, and none of those things will lead to contentment. And in fact, often a sign that many of these things have become, for us, idols. The third lie is that everyone is busy, so we should be too. Well, first of all, you don't need to be overly busy. And secondly, not everybody is. Some people do manage their time well. Case in point, look at Jesus. Jesus is getting stuff done. But notice, he's never stressed, never worried, never freaking out about his schedule. And people interrupt him. And he's got flexibility. To become really good at any sport requires a lot of sacrifice and time. The authors tell a story about how they had to choose a less competitive league than what their son could have been in order so that they could create margin and time in their life for neighbors. How about you? What does this mean for you? Can you take a B instead of an A in a class because you were spending more time with your community group and your neighbors? Do you trust God with your responsibilities enough to be able to set some of them aside when you need to add margin to your schedule? What good things, great things, do you need to learn to begin to say no to so that you can say yes to better things? We all would agree that the highest priority is God, our spouse, our kids, our church and our community group, and lost people. Jesus puts them up there. What things do you need to say no to so you can say yes to those things? Jesus, notice, was flexible and allowed people to interrupt him. Kids coming up to him, a blind man, a sick woman as he's going somewhere. Jesus says that our neighbors are a high priority, even if you don't realize it. Even if you don't think they're a high priority, Jesus says in both the Great Commission and the Great Commandment to love your neighbor as yourself. This is something that we're called to do. It is a high priority? Are you living as though it was? Just as learning a skill takes time, love also takes time. Do you let your schedule slip so that you can engage someone at length in setting aside your meeting agenda? Are you making people feel rushed? Do they sense that you have time for them and want to spend time with them? It's easy to focus on convenient people, coworkers, friends, maybe family members, going home instead of staying here. And those are good starts, but the Great Commandment and the Great Commission both push us beyond our conveniences. So if you're too busy to get to know your next door neighbors, find some good things to stop doing. So how do we do this? First of all, we make the main things the main thing. Start with the most important things and schedule those first, and then schedule everything else around those. Get your date night, your church gathering, community group mission, your neighborhood walk, meeting neighbors. Get those kind of things on the calendar first. Secondly, eliminate time stealers. Surfing Facebook, BuzzFeed for hours, watching TV, watching sports. Not bad things, but are they preventing you from your top priorities, like being on mission with your community group or fulfilling the Great Commandment and getting to know your neighbors? Those are the things that you need to chop out. Thirdly, be interruptible. If you cannot stand interruptions, you may have control as an idol, which denies the sovereignty of God over your life, your schedule, and your relationships.